Hello there guys and welcome to Saturday's live stream. I'm JWF1 and we're here for day 2 here at the Circuito de Jerez-Angel Nieto circuit for the final 3 days of pre-season testing to go. Well, final 4 days, but we're on the final 3 days now. But as you can see, bright and sunny conditions here at the ref yet again. If you didn't see what happened yesterday for day 1, quite an interesting test. In the end, Clare topped the session in the Eldorado with Lewis Hamilton second and the 2 EMRs following suit with Hulkenberg third and Sebastian Vettel in 4th position. So Omi looked to have upped the pace a little bit yesterday with Kimi Raikkonen in 5th place. GRM looked to have slipped back a bit with Ocon down in 12th, or was it 11th? It was actually 11th, I do apologise. Ocon 11th, but whether he was just sandbagging yesterday, we'll have to wait and see. But we'll have to wait and see really what goes on that. But as you can see, as we've just mentioned, bright and sunny conditions here at the ref. So before we get underway for day 2, let's have a look at the drivers taking part in today's test then. So for Etihad, you'll be seeing Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo again. EMR, the same, Sebastian Vettel and Nico Hulkenberg. For Eldorado, you'll be seeing Charles Leclerc and Felix Rosenquist, their test driver. Bud Light Lime, again, you'll be seeing Romain Grosjean and Sergio Perez. There was a bit of a graphic error yesterday with Bud Light Lime Motorsport because it still had said Danny Kvyat. I do apologise for that. It should have said Sergio Perez, but oh well. GRM, again, having Esteban Ocon and Will Power. Suwami, Kimi Raikkonen and Patrick Ajala. Martini, George Russell and Lando Norris, their 2 test drivers. AMP, Pascal Wehrlein and Mick Schumacher, one of their test drivers, of course. Has been test driver of the team now for 4 seasons, it must be said. British Airways Racing, Scott Dixon and Rubens Barrichello. Shadow, Pierre Gastly and Carlos Sainz Jr. And finally over at Mars, Nick Cassidy and Hiroki Ashura. So they are the drivers taking part in today's test. As mentioned, bright and sunny conditions. So I think without further ado, let's get to day 2 here at the ref. So here we are then in the pit lane, and we're going to go to the end of the pit lane with Sergio Perez. So we'll wait and get this session underway. It is of course an hour session, TV graphics in full view as per usual. Let's wait and see who's going to be the first to get out onto the track here at the Circuito de not Della Fantara anymore. It's the Circuito de Jerez-Angel Nieto circuit. At one point it was just called Circuito de Jerez circuit. But now it's the Circuito de Jerez-Angel Nieto, I think named after a bloke named Angel Nieto. I think he was very popular in MotoGP from what I understand. But Sergio Perez, the first man out on track now then for Bud Light Lime Motorsport as he makes his way around through the section of corners. And Perez will be the one that's setting the first lap of today here at Jerez, as he uses a bit of curb on the outside. Also joining him on the track is the man that replaced him at Eldorado, Charles Leclerc, on loan from Etihad. And we do understand that he will be making an appearance with Etihad this weekend, we believe for day 4 as we understand. So kind of like what Etihad did in Paul Ricard with one of their test drivers, have the main drivers in for the first 3 days and then have a test driver or 2 in the 4th day. And we are aware that their other test driver as well, Pierre Gastly, will also appear in the Etihad for day 4 as well. So it'll be a test driver galore for Etihad that day. Patrick Ajala out on track as well. Also out there is Romain Grosjean along with George Russell. Mick Schumacher out there as well. First appearance in the new Etihad, in the new AMP. So because in the previous test the main drivers only took part in that session, but Mick Schumacher out on track, as is Pierre Gastly. Nico Hulkenberg has also joined the track, along with Lando Norris in the Martini. Defending champion Lewis Hamilton is now out on the track, along with the Kiwi of Nick Cassidy, Pascal Wehrlein, Carlos Sainz Jr. and Rubens Barrichello. Those guys out on track, those 14. They'll be doing at least 2 laps like we saw yesterday, as Perez now then starts his lap as he makes his way up towards turn 1 on the racetrack. So through the first corner he goes, using a bit of curb on the outside before heading down to turn 2. Around the right-hander he goes now then, as he now makes his way around through the left-hander, using a tiny bit of curb on the outside through turn number 4 and then up towards turn 5, the medium speed turn 5. And let's see what his first split is going to be like. We saw a couple of mistakes here yesterday, whether that will be the same today we'll have to wait and see. 25.447 that time by for Sergio Perez in the first sector. So he will now make his way down towards the second sector in a little bit as he makes his way around turn 6 now then, using the curb on the outside as he now makes his way around the left-hander on the track up towards turn number 8 now then, just sending it around the corner up towards the double right-hander. 49.086 that time by for Sergio Perez. Around the double right-hander we go, as now he makes his way down the straight now then in towards the chicane. So through that chicane there then goes Sergio Perez as he now comes off the turn now then up towards the final corner, and let's see what Checo can do. So through the hairpin and then heading down the pit straight now then. Let's see what the target time is going to be then. Perez across the line, he will go. What's the lap time going to be? It's a 1 minute 19.639. That's not the quickest we've seen. We've seen somebody break into the 1 minute 18 such as this man, Charles Leclerc. Let's see if he can do that today. And he does with a 1 minute 18.786. Patrick Kajala goes into second, 7 attempts off the pace. Fourth for Romain Grosjean, still off the pace of his teammate Perez. Fifth for Russell becomes sixth. Schumacher seventh. Gasly fourth, despite being held by Schumacher. So he probably could have been a little bit more lap time coming out of Gasly had he not been held up by Mick Schumacher. Here is Nico Hülkenberg now then coming out of the final turn. Let's see what the German can do. Placed in third place yesterday, he goes to second with that lap. Lando Norris slots to third in the Martini. Here is Lewis Hamilton. Let's see what the defending champion can do across the line, and he goes second fastest, 700ths off Leclerc that time by. Here comes Nick Cassidy. Across the line goes the Kiwi, and he goes 7th fastest. Pascal Wehrlein across the line, and he slots to 9th. Carlos Sainz Jr. remaining in 8th, goes to 8th with that lap. Sorry, Rubens Barrichello goes to 11th place on his first flying lap. Sergio Perez rounding the bus stop chicane as he just goes out of the section of corners. Round the right hander he goes as Perez goes up towards the final corner. So now through the hairpin, Perez heading down the pit straight. And across the line goes the Mexican. Can he improve on his lap? No, he can't. Remains in 6th place for the moment as Leclerc and Kajala decide they're going to box this time by and not bother doing a second flying lap, so just doing the one. Here comes Romain Grosjean. Across the line goes the Frenchman. Can he find a little bit of time to improve upon? No, he can't. Still struggling at the moment in that car. Russell remains 13th. Schumacher does not improve, nor does Gasly. Got really held up by Schumacher that time by. Here comes Nico Hülkenberg around in the Lorenzo corner now, then heading down the pit straight. Hülkenberg will cross the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains in 3rd place. Lando Norris remains 4th for the moment, outpacing teammate for today, George Russell. I don't know if he's set a really competitive time yet. Here's Nick Cassidy, just rounding the final turn. And Cassidy now then will come across the line. Let's see what he's able to do. And Cassidy remains in 7th place. No improvement for him. Here is Carlos Sainz Jr. heading down the pit straight. And Jr. remains 8th. Barrichello remains 11th. So no improvement for those guys, and these lot will be coming back into the pits this time by. So at the moment then, with just 6 minutes gone, it's Leclerc currently fastest, Hamilton 2nd, Hülkenberg 3rd, Norris 4th, Kajala 5th, Perez 6th, Cassidy 7th, Sainz in 8th, Gasly 9th, Wehrlein 10th, Barrichello 11th, Grosjean 12th, Russell 13th, and Schumacher in 14th. So the top 3, the same as it was yesterday, but we've still got a few more guys still yet to come out onto the track, so anything could still really happen at this point as Barrichello makes his way down the hill towards the hairpin on the track. So up towards the hairpin there then goes Rubens Barrichello, using a tad bit of curb on the outside, as now through the left-hander goes Rubino as he now approaches this left-hander. A tap on the brakes through into that corner, is now approaching the double right-hander we go as Barrichello using the curb on the outside through the right-hander out of Angel Nieto, and now up towards the bus-up chicane. Barrichello, of course, coming into the pits this lap as Sebastian Vettel for EMR has now just come out onto the track. So Vettel out there now, then placed in 4th yesterday behind teammate Hülkenberg. He'll be looking to try and outpace him today if he can. He makes his way around the long swooping right-hander of turn 5 as he'll head down the hill towards the hairpin in a little bit. Here is Will Power also out there as well. Also coming out is Scott Dixon. And we'll also be joined by Daniel Ricciardo, Sergio Perez, Patrick Kajala, Esteban Ocon, Hiroki Ashura, Kimi Raikkonen, and probably a couple more, as in fact Rosenquist is going out, isn't he? So Rosenquist, Raikkonen, Grosjean, and that's that. So those guys are going to be out on the track in a little bit as Vettel prepares himself for his first flying lap as he makes his way around the double right-hander on the racetrack, using the curb on the outside as he'll now approach towards the bus stop chicane through the right, then the left, and then into the right-hander he goes, flicking the car in. He uses the curb on the outside round the right-hander as Vettel now approaches the final turn in the Dazzle Cam EMR. Just a reminder, of course, they're not releasing their livery until the 28th of November, which is this coming Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that as Vettel just starts his lap now. Then up towards turn 1 goes the German as he just goes up the hill now, then in towards turn 2 he will go through turn 2 and then into turn 3 We'll go Sebastian now then, as he uses the curb on the outside. And let's see what his second sector is going to be like up towards the medium speed. Turn 5. Very easy to lose the back end through there. And he's 400ths off the Clare in the first sector. As now Vettel makes his way down the hill. Up towards the hairpin he will go. As Vettel now then uses the curb on the outside. In towards the left-hander he goes. As now Vettel swoops around this left-hander down on the track. And now up towards the double right-hander. 700ths off that time by in the second sector. So Vettel could be on for a very good lap. Probably not second place. Probably could place himself third at the moment if he can just keep his pace up at this stage. In towards the bust-up chicane he'll go. As now he will approach these last 2 turns on the racetrack through the second last turn. And now up towards the final corner of Lorenzo. Let's see what Vettel can do. As now heading down the pit straight, and Vettel is going to cross the line. What's his lap time going to be? And he goes third fastest, so it's predicted really. He's 1/10 off the Clare, so Vettel slots to third with that lap. Here's Will Power in the GRM. Let's see what Power can do then on his lap. And he goes 9th fastest, so a little bit better than what we've seen from Power so far. So 9th for the Aussie. As Dixon's on a lap, but he's getting really held up at the moment by Pierre Gastly in the shadow. So a fellow Mercedes-powered car in front of him really holding him up at the minute. As Dixon just makes his way out of the turn through the right-hander. As he'll soon come up towards the final turn. So through the hairpin now, then we go. As Dixon will make his way down the pit straight. And Scott Dixon now then across the line. He will now go, and he only goes 17th. Got really held up that time by Pierre Gastly. Probably could have been a lot more lap time coming out of the Kiwi there. Then here comes Felix Rosenquist making his way out of the final turn. Let's see what the Season 4 GP2 champion can do. Rosenquist across the line, and he goes 6th fastest for the moment. So not a bad time for the Swede. That's P6 for him. Here's Kimi Räikkönen. Across the line, he goes 6th, so pushes Rosenquist down a bit. Grosjean improves to go up to 10th place, so a bit more of an improvement that time by. Kajalo remains where he is. Ricciardo, only 14th for that lap, so not a very good first lap for Ricciardo. I wonder if Kajalo in front maybe had some effect in that. Ocon across the line goes 6th fastest, so a little bit better than what we saw yesterday from Esteban Ocon. Here's Sebastian Vettel heading down the pit straight, and Vettel remains in 3rd place for the moment, no improvement. Will Power now then heads out of the final turn, and let's see what the Aussie can do. Power across the line remains in 13th position. Hiroki Ashura now then across the line he goes, and he goes 16th fastest for the moment. Lando Norris doesn't improve, nor does Sergio Perez. Here is Pierre Gastly on a lap, and I don't know whether Dixon might have impeded his lap a little bit. Gastly currently down in 17th, so he's desperate to try and find some improvement in that car. Around the hairpin goes the Frenchman as he makes his way down the pit straight. And Gastly now then will come across the line. Let's see what he can do. And he goes 9th fastest, so able to improve that time by. Dixon doesn't improve. Russell improves to go up to 11th, so a big improvement there then for Russell. That's P11 for him there then. A little bit better than what we saw previously with him in the Martini. So he's doing a little bit better around this track, it must be said. Just a little bit off Norris at the moment. Here is Kimi Räikkönen heading down the pit straight. Let's see what Kimi can do. And he remains 7th for the moment. Romain Grosjean currently 13th across the line. Remains 13th for the moment. Patrick Kajala remains in 10th. So he's just in the cusp of the top 10. Ricciardo stays where he is at the moment. No improvement. So Ricciardo not having a very good first flying lap, it must be said. Clearly just getting a mileage run that time by. Ocon remains 6th for the moment. Here's Hiroki Ashura now then, heading through the bus stop chicane. And so he's just going out of these section of corners as he's about to finish off his second flying lap now then. Up towards Lorenzo corner he'll go, around the hairpin. As he just uses the curb on the outside. Hiroki Ashura then down the pit straight. Did quite a decent job yesterday, so far doing a decent job today. Ashura remains in 18th position. Lando Norris remains in 5th. He's doing quite a good job, it must be said. He'll be hoping to try and win the GP2 title this season if he can. Perez does not improve, remains where he is at this stage. As here is Pierre Gastly. He will now come up towards the final corner. And I forgot to move the number down from yesterday, unless it is correct. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I'm just going to have a check through these cameras if I can to see what it looks like on the front. And I can't really, so I do apologise for that. But anyway, Gastly remains where he is at the moment. Russell stays where he is at this stage. And so that's that really. And these guys have finished off their laps as Nick Cassidy comes out onto the track, and he's currently placing 14th ahead, so far outpacing teammate Hiroki Ashura at the moment. As Gastly now makes his way around the right-hander, and then into the left he will go. And so now just going around the section of corners he will now go, as he'll make his way up towards the medium speed right-hander. Preparing for his next flying lap in the Mars Grand Prix car. So, with just 13 minutes gone, this is what the leaderboard looks like. Leclerc fastest, Hamilton second, Vettel third, Hulkenberg fourth, Norris in fifth, Ocon sixth, Raikkonen seventh, followed by Rosenquist 8th, Gastly 9th, Kajala 10th, Russell 11th, Perez 12th, Grosjean 13th, Gastly 14th, Power 15th, Sainz in 16th, Ricciardo 17th, Ashura 18th, Verline 19th, Barrichello 20th, Schumacher 21st, and Dixon in 22nd position. As Gastly makes his way around the section of corners, and Gastly now then will approach the bus stop chicane. So through the right, then the left, and then into the right hander he goes. As he uses a tad bit of curb on the outside. Through the right hander, as now Cassidy will approach Lorenzo corner, the final corner on the racetrack. As now he'll just go down the pit straight, and Cassidy then just about to start his next flying lap. Also on the track with him, we've got Charles Leclerc, the current man at the top. Nico Hulkenberg back out there as well, as is Mick Schumacher, Pascal Wehrlein, so Ian Peterson, both their guys out there at the same time. Sebastian Vettel goes out there as well, behind his two fellow compatriots. Will Power out there as well, along with Lewis Hamilton, Scott Dixon, Cassidy, there he is on a lap. Luckily not getting held up at the moment. We'll be expecting Ashura, Ricciardo, Rosenquist, Raikkonen and Ocon to join these guys in a little bit, as we will go back to, where is Cassidy? Cassidy's a little bit further back, isn't he? Here he is, 6 tenths down in the first sector. Probably not on for an improvement. We'll have to see what his second sector is like, really. As it will now go up towards the hairpin, using a bit of curb on the outside, as he'll now make his way up towards the flat-out left-hander, using the curb on the outside, and then into this medium speed left-hander he'll go. And let's see what his second split is like. And he's 1 second off, so Cassidy not on for a Bruin. I don't know if Dixon had a part to play in that or what, but Cassidy way off his personal best in the middle sector. And well, it doesn't look like he's going to improve this time by, as he makes his way through the bus stop chicane. And so now just going out of the turn and then up towards the hairpin will go Nick Cassidy. And so now through the hairpin and then making his way down the pit straight, and across the line now then goes Nick Cassidy. And he's 1.7 seconds off, so way off his personal best. I don't know whether Dixon had a part to play in that. Leclerc 900ths off on his personal best in the middle sector, so pretty much keeping consistent lap times at the moment, it must be said, for the young Monegasque. As now Leclerc makes his way out of that bus stop chicane through the last 2 turns, he will now go up towards Lorenzo corner, goes Charles Leclerc. And let's see what the Monegasque can do, as he'll make his way down the pit straight, and Leclerc now then is going to cross the line. Let's see what he can do, and he does not improve, remains where he is at the moment. Here comes Nico Hulkenberg across the line. He will go, and he improves, but remains in 4th position, not able to overhaul his teammate at this stage, who's coming in front of him. Mick Schumacher looks like he's getting held by Cassidy, so it looks like Schumacher might not be on for an improvement now then, as he makes his way around the bus stop chicane, getting really stuck behind Hiroki Ashura at the moment. And I thought that was Cassidy there for a minute. I do apologise. It is Hiroki Ashura, the young Japanese driver. As now Mick Schumacher makes his way into the final turn. And onto the pit straight now then goes Mick, as he will now come across the line. And let's see what he can do. No improvement, and clearly Ashura had a part to play. Raikkonen starts the lap. Verline does not improve, nor does Vettel. Looks like a lot of people getting held up. There's a bit of a lock-up in front there as we look to Ocon and Ricciardo starting laps. They're both hoping they don't get held up by the traffic that's in front of them. Power improves, but remains in 15th place. Hamilton doesn't, remain second. Up into 13th goes Scott Dixon, so an improvement for him there. Big improvement. Gastly, his fellow compatriot, remains in 15th place. Here's Leclerc on his second flying lap now then. Into the bus stop chicane he will now go. Makes his way around through these section of corners, using the curb on the outside through the second to last turn, and then up towards the final corner will come Charles Leclerc. And let's see what he's able to do this time by making his way down the pit straight. And Leclerc now then across the line he will now go, and Leclerc remains where he is at the moment, obviously, but remains on a 1 minute 18.786. Hulkenberg doesn't improve, remains where he is. Here is Leclerc's teammate for the day, Felix Rosenquist. Rosenquist currently 8th, so doing a decent job in the car at the moment, as Rosenquist makes his way around the final turn and onto the pit straight. He will now go. Rosenquist across the line. Let's see what he can do. And he does not improve. Rosenquist remains where he is at the moment. Here comes Ashura now then. Into the hairpin. Looks like there's a lot of traffic starting to build up behind the Japanese driver at the moment. Ashura now then. Across the line. And he improves to go up to 19. So a little bit of improvement there then. Raikkonen and Schumacher don't improve. Nor does Verline. Nor does Vettel. Nor does Ocon. Nor does Ricciardo. Again, the pair of them getting really held up on their laps. As now we look at Will Power. Across the line he goes, and no improvement for him, remains 16th. Hamilton remains 2nd at this stage. Dixon remains 13th. As here is Felix Rosenquist now then, on his 2nd flying lap of the hairpin he will go, as he makes his way around through these left-hander. And now in towards the next left-hander he goes. And up towards the double right-hander we go. 5 tenths down in the middle sector as Rosenquist uses a tad bit of curb on the outside through the right-hander, and now up towards the left-right chicane, the bus stop chicane on the track, through the right, then the left, then into the right-hander we go as Rosenquist now then up towards the final corner he goes. Can Rosenquist find a bit of time to improve? Let's see now then. Around the final turn and onto the pit straight now then goes Felix Rosenquist, as he will now cross the line. See what he's able to do, and he doesn't improve, remains in 8th place for the moment. Here is Hiroki Ashura making his way out of the final turn himself, and Ashura now then will come across the line. Let's see if he can find a bit of time to improve. He can't, remains 19th for the moment. Kimi Raikkonen remains 7th, still got a little bit held up before he finished his lap. So did Ocon, he remains where he is. So did Ricciardo, both of them getting really held up on their laps, it must be said. As meantime, everybody just coming back into the pits this lap at the moment. Ricciardo really haven't been able to set a competitive time at the moment in the Etihad, and probably still needs to find some time to improve. He needs to try and find some clear air if he can, if he wants to improve on the lap he's currently on at the moment, as he now makes his way up towards the quick right-hander on the track. And so going out of the first sector there then. And Ricciardo now then down towards the hairpin he will go. And Ricciardo now then using the curb on the outside, as he'll now make his way up towards the left-hander he goes. And now through the left-hander there then goes Ricciardo. And now up towards the double right-hander, as he uses the curb on the outside. Ricciardo obviously coming back into the pits this time by, as Patrick Kajala in the Suomi is now out on the track, as we've had 20 minutes gone, just over 40 minutes left in this session, as Kajala makes his way down the hill towards the hairpin. And using the curb on the outside there then goes Kajala. Now through the left-hander he goes. And now through towards the next left-hander there then goes the young Finn, as he prepares himself to start his first flying lap in a little bit. Also on the track is Romain Grosjean, so Grosjean's out there at the moment, as is Rubens Barrichello. George Russell out there along with Carlos Sainz Jr., Lando Norris, those three could probably hold each other up in a bit. Sergio Perez out there, as is Pierre Gastly. I don't know if he's going to get held up. Leclerc's coming out, and we're expecting Verline, Gastly, Hulkenberg and Hamilton to join these guys in a little bit. Kajala now then into the final turn, and onto the pit straight we go. And so Kajala now then heading down the pit straight, as Kajala making his way up towards turn 1. And the Finn now then just flicking the car in through the first turn, down towards turn 2 he goes. Again flicking the car in, as he makes his way through the left-hander on the track. Through this next left-hander he goes, uses the curb on the outside, and then up towards the medium speed turn 5. In through that corner. 2 tenths down in the first sector is Patrick. We'll see what his middle sector is like and then make some sort of judgment. As Kajala makes his way into turn 6 on the track. So Kajala uses the curb on the outside. Through the left-hander he will go. And now let's see what he can manage through this left-hander there. Then goes Kajala. And then into the double right-hander, using a lot of curve on the outside. He's 3 tenths down in the second sector that time by. Probably could be on for an improvement, but we'll wait and see. Through the bus stop goes Patrick. And now through the section of corners, using the curb on the outside as Kajala makes his way up towards the hairpin. And the young Finn now then down the pit straight, and Kajala now then will come across the line. Can he improve? And he can. He goes up to 9th, so gaining 1 place. Kajala up into 9th place with that lap. Here's Grosjean on a lap, and he looks like he could hold up Hamilton, which is not good for the defending champion. Grosjean out of the final turn, and onto the pit straight he will go, as Grosjean now then will come across the line. Let's see if he can find a little bit of time to improve. He can't. Grosjean remains in 14th. Hamilton starts the lap as he tries to pass him into turn 1, which he does, but I bet he's still going to get a little bit impeded. Barrichello doesn't improve, nor does Russell, nor does Sainz, nor does Norris. Schumacher about to start a lap. Here is Sergio Perez. Don't know if he caught a little bit of understeer there going out of Lorenzo. Perez across the line. Can he improve? He can. He goes up to 12th. So a slight improvement there then for Perez. Gasly does not improve. Remains in 10th place. Still in the cusp of the top 10. Here is Charles Leclerc in the Eldorado. Through the bus stop he goes. He's in the curve on the outside. Through the second to last turn. And then up towards the final corner. We'll go Charles Leclerc. And let's see what the Monegasque is able to do as he makes his way down the pit straight, and Leclerc is going to cross the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains on a 1:18.786 for the moment. Here is Patrick Kajala heading his way into the final turn, and Kajala now then makes his way down the pit straight, and Kajala is going to cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains 9th for the moment. Nick Cassidy now then up towards the final turn. Let's see what he can do. Into the hairpin, heading down the pit straight, and Cassidy is going to cross the line. Hamilton getting held up again by Grosjean, it seems. So Grosjean must have repassed him somewhere. Cassidy doesn't improve, nor does Grosjean, nor does Hamilton. Both of them really holding each other up on their laps. Here's George Russell in the Martini. Across the line he will go. No improvement. Remains in 11th. Carlos Sainz Jr. remains in 17th position. Norris remains in 5th. Schumacher goes up to 20th, so a slight improvement for him there. Then getting in front of Verlaine, I should say. Perez remains 12th. Gasly remains in 11th. I think that says. No 10th, I do apologise. Don't know if he dropped down one that time by. Here is Pascal Verlaine. Through the final turn he will go as he comes down the pit straight. Verlaine coming across the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains where he is at this stage. Nico Hülkenberg heading down the pit straight. Can Hülkenberg improve on his lap? Across the line he will go. And no, remains 4th. Charles Leclerc remains at the 1:18.786 as Vettel goes out on the track. Here's Nick Cassidy on a lap, but 9/10 down in the middle sector. So Cassidy again not on for an improvement, I don't think, as he just goes into the bus stop chicane. And the Kiwi now then heading out of that chicane now then through the second to last turn. And then up towards the final corner will come Nick Cassidy, and let's see what he can do. Into that hairpin, heading down the pit straight, and Cassidy now then will come across the line. Can he improve on his lap? And he doesn't. He remains where he is at the moment in 15th. Hamilton remains in 2nd. Looks like Grosjean still had a part to play in that lap as well. So here's Mick Schumacher rounding the final turn. Let's see what the young German can do. Mick Schumacher across the line he will go, and he'll be hoping for a good season in GP2 with the new team he's with, Lopez Racing Development. Schumacher remains in 20th position, so that's that for him. Verlaine heading out of that bus stop through the right-hander, and now Verlaine will approach the final turn. And let's see what Pascal can do as he makes his way down the pit straight, and Verlaine will come across the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains where he is at this stage. So that's that for him. Here comes Nico Hülkenberg. Across the line he goes, and he remains in 4th. So that's that for him. Sebastian Vettel about to start a lap in a little bit. Let's see if anybody else is on a lap before we get to Vettel. And there isn't, but there could be some traffic for Vettel if he's not careful. And there is, and he's had to lift off in the form of Scott Dixon. So Vettel's lap already been impeded as a result of Scott Dixon in front. Had to lift off a little bit there to ensure he didn't cream cracker into the back of the BAR there. As Vettel now then through the left-hander he goes as he makes his way around through the section of turns. Vettel approaching the medium speed turn 5. Let's see what his second split is like. And sorry, first split 6/10 down, and yep, Dixon clearly having a part to play there that time by for for Vettel's lap this time by. Through the hairpin goes Vettel, using the curb on the outside as he makes his way through the left-hander. Dixon really holding him up, it must be said, as Vettel just going around these section of corners and gets a flick of oversteer there and turns into understeer. Can he keep it on the track? Just about. So Vettel making a mistake on his lap, clearly catching the dirty air coming off the back of the British Airways racing car, and well, clearly affecting a little bit more of his lap time that time by, as Vettel makes his way out of the bus stop chicane. As we ride on board with the German heading into the hairpin, and into the final turn goes Sebastian Vettel as he makes his way down the pit straight. Let's see how much Dixon compromises time along with the mistake he made, 2 seconds off. And well, he's probably a little bit frustrated with Dixon, probably saying the words blue flags on his team radio. So now we look at Power, who's the next nearest guy, in fact, to start a lap. So Vettel came out way out before somebody else decided to do another lap. Here's Will Power now then, up towards the end of the first sector he will go, through the medium speed turn 5. And he is 2 tenths down in the first sector. Overall, Power down in 16th, 9 tenths off. Let's see what his second split is going to be like, as Sparks coming off the back of his GRM there. And so now heading his way out of the hairpin, and Power now then through the left-hander as he now makes his way around through this next left-hander. He will go. Power will approach the second sector, and he is 5 tenths off in the second. So I don't know about an improvement. We'll wait and see what the Aussie can do then towards the end of his lap, as Power now then makes his way into the bus stop chicane through the right, then the left, and then into the right-hander he goes. Heading out of that bus stop chicane through the second to last corner. And then up towards the final corner will go Will Power. Let's see what he can do as he makes his way down the pit straight. And Power will come across the line. Let's see if he can improve. And he can. In fact, he goes up to 6. Well, remains in 16th, but improves his best time, but only by a little bit. As Kajal starts the lap. Dixon does improve, nor does Vettel. Grosjean just starts the lap himself. Here is Kimi Räikkönen in the Suomi. Räikkönen currently in 7th. Let's see if the Iceman can improve. Räikkönen down the pit straight and across the line he will go. And he does improve, but remains in 7th place. Here's Hiroki Ashura now then in the Mars Grand Prix car. And he doesn't improve. Carl Sainz Jr. about to start a lap. Here is Felix Rosenquist, 2 tenths down in the second sector. That said, for Rosenquist, he could be on for an improvement, but we'll wait and see how the Swede gets on. Out of that bus stop chicane he goes, around the right-hander. And it looks like Ricciardo's getting held up again. So Ricciardo really having no luck with the traffic whatsoever, as he's now got Sergio Perez right in front of him. We ride on board with Felix Rosenquist, and let's see what Rosenquist can do. Across the line he will go, and he does not improve. Remains where he is. Sergio Perez starts lapping again. Ricciardo does not improve. Gets held up again by the traffic in front of him. Clearly had to lift as he was coming down the pit straight to allow Perez through. As Barrichello starts the lap. Ocon doesn't improve. Remains in 6th place. Here's Patrick Kajala in the Suomi. Around the bus stop chicane he'll go. As Kajala now then through the second to last turn, and then up towards the hairpin now then will go the Finn, the young Finn now then. Into the hairpin. As Kajala makes his way down the pit straight. And let's see what the Finn can do. Across the line, and he remains where he is at the moment. Dixon remains put for the time being, as Grosjean remains 14th. Here is George Russell just about to start a lap. Kimi Räikkönen coming off the final turn. And let's see what Kimi can do. As does he improve? No, remains in 7th. For the moment, here comes Hiroki Ashura heading down the pit straight, and he does not improve. As now we look at Felix Rosenquist on a lap through the bus stop chicane he'll go, as Perez still holding up Ricciardo that time by. We look at the Swede, just under half an hour to go then in this session, as Rosenquist heads in towards the final corner of Lorenzo, as the Swede heads down the pit straight, and Rosenquist will come across the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains in 8th place. Perez remains where he is, so does Ricciardo, as Barrichello, what was I trying to say there? Barrichello does not improve on his lap, nor does Ocon. And here is Patrick Kajala on another lap. Through the bus stop chicane he goes. And so far doing quite a good job, as I said, these last 2 days. But this is the final time we'll see him today as well. I think Nico Kari will be taking over his duties for the last 2 days. And Räikkönen as well. I think we'll be seeing Kevin Magnussen in the car tomorrow as well. So To wait and see on that, but Kajala now then heads down the pit straight. And the Finn now then will come across the line, and Kajala does not improve. He remains where he is at the moment in 9th place, as Norris is about to start a lap in a bit because he's just come out the pits. Grosjean doesn't improve. Russell improves but remains at 11th, and he takes a little bit of time off his personal best. Here is Carlos Sainz Jr. way down in 17th place, so the Spaniard desperate to improve. Let's see what Sainz can do as he makes his way down the pit straight and across the line. He will go. And Sainz remains where he is at the moment in 17th place. So that's that, as Perez has been overtook now by Daniel Ricciardo. But now it's Perez's turn to get a little bit held up by Danny Rick. As now through the second to last turn, Ricciardo will peel to the left. And now heading into the final turn will go Sergio Perez, making his way down the pit straight. And Perez now then will come across the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains where he is at this stage. Barrichello remains where he is at the moment, which is last place, so he's not doing a particularly good job today. 1.3 seconds off Charles Leclerc at the moment. As we look at George Russell on his second flying lap, 6 tenths off in the middle sector. Russell probably not on for an improvement anyway, but we'll wait and see as the Renault-powered Martini makes its way into the bus stop chicane and into the section of corners he goes. As Russell through the second to last turn and then up towards Lorenzo, which is the final corner on the racetrack. Let's see what Russell can do. Heading out of that final turn and onto the pit straight goes George Russell. Can he improve on his lap? And let's have a look. And he can't. Remains at 11th place for the moment. As we now look at Pierre Gastly, and the Frenchman, the next nearest to do a lap. Through the medium speed right-hander, and his first split 2 tenths off in the first sector compared to fellow Etihad employee Charles Leclerc, heading down the hill towards turn 6. As Gastly now then just makes his way around the long sweeping right-hander. Through the turn 7 and 8 he'll go, as he'll soon come up towards the end of sector 2 in a little bit. Through this left-hander. And see what Gastly's second split is like. 4 tenths off in the second sector. I'm not sure about an improvement, but we'll wait and see. As Gastly comes off the turn now then up towards the bus stop chicane we go. Through the right, then the left, and then into the right-hander we go. And into the second to last turn, and then up towards the final corner will come Pierre Gastly as he makes his way around that final turn. Onto the pit straight he goes, and Gastly is going to cross the line. Can he improve? And he can, but remains in 10th, only taking a chunk out of Kajala in front of him at the moment. Lando Norris on a lap, can he improve? And he can. He remains in 5th, but improves on his better time at the moment. 3 tenths now off Charles Leclerc at the minute. Speaking of Charles Leclerc, he's just about to start a lap now then. Ricciardo hoping he doesn't come out in traffic this time as he's about to come out of his pit box. Gastly on another lap. Running on board up with him now then through turn number 5, the medium speed turn 5. 3 tenths off in the first sector that time by. As Gastly makes his way down the hill towards the hairpin. Sparks coming off the back of his car. Now into that hairpin he goes. Using a tad bit of curb on the outside and then into the left-hander goes Pierre. As now flicking the car in through the turn. And now up towards the double right-hander. 6 tenths down in the second sector. And clearly not on for an improvement this time by just getting a little bit of mileage for Shadow Mercedes if he can. And now up towards the bus stop chicane. Through the right, then the left, then into the right-hander we go. Gastly using the curb on the outside through the penultimate corner, then up towards the final turn. We'll go Pierre Gastly. Let's see what he can do. As Gastly now then comes across the line. Can he improve? Let's see. The Frenchman remains in 10th, so no improvement for him. Sebastian Vettel about to start a lap. Here comes Lando Norris. Norris will come across the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains where he is at this stage. Bull Power just about to start a lap. Dixon will as well. Cassidy across the line remains where he is, as does Charles Leclerc. As we now look at Mick Schumacher heading down the pit straight. The AMP now then across the line he goes. And he improves but remains in 20th at the moment. Ricciardo starts a lap and luckily does not get any traffic in front of him. So Ricciardo should be able to blast it this time by. Here's his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Can he try and knock Leclerc off the top? Hamilton across the line, and no he can't. Remains in second for the moment. Here is Nico Hülkenberg coming out of the bus stop chicane. As he will now make his way up towards the final 2 turns. Let's see what Hülkenberg can do. As he just comes down the pit straight, and Hülkenberg now then across the line. He will go. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains in 4th position as we now look at Pascal Wehrlein. After the hairpin he goes, and let's see what his overall time is going to be. Can he improve upon that dreadful 21st position? And he can, but remains in 21st, so only taking a few chunks out of his teammate Mick Schumacher. IFMC really struggling, and they're desperate for a change coming into Australia next weekend. As now Sebastian Vettel heads out of Lorenzo corner. Can Vettel improve on his lap? Sebastian across the line. He will go, and he can't. Remains in 3rd for the moment. Will Power, can the Australian improve? And nope, remains where he is. Dixon also remaining put at the moment, same with his fellow compatriot, along with Leclerc. Got really held up there. So the man at the top getting held up there by Cassidy. Here is Mick Schumacher heading down the pit straight. Can he improve a little bit more? Across the line goes Mick. No improvement. Daniel Ricciardo only up to 12. So not the best improvement there then from Daniel Ricciardo, as I'm now starting to hear bells in the air. I don't know why. As Asura about to start a lap, here is Lewis Hamilton. And he does not improve. Remains in 2nd. Here is Nico Hülkenberg. Out of that bus stop chicane he goes. So Hülkenberg now then making his way down towards Lorenzo corner. And can Hülkenberg find a little bit more time to improve? Running on board with the German. And Nico Hülkenberg across the line he will go. And he does not improve. Remains where he is at this stage. Pascal Wehrlein heading into the final turn. And Wehrlein now then heading down the pit straight. Let's see what Pascal can do. Can he improve on his lap? No, he can't. Remains in 21st. Here comes Kimi Räikkönen. Can he remain where he is? No, he can't. Remains in. Can he improve, I should say? And he doesn't. He remains in 7th. Sebastian Vettel heading out of the final turn. Can Seb improve on his lap? And nope. Remains in 3rd place. Here is Will Power making his way down the pit straight. And Power doesn't improve, remains where he is. Scott Dixon will cross the line in a bit, and Dixon remains in where is he at the moment? Remains in 14th place, doing a lot better than what Rubens Barrichello is at the minute. Daniel Ricciardo across the line, and doesn't improve that time by. Probably got a little bit held up by Mick Schumacher on that lap, which is a lot slower than what it was earlier. So Hiroki Shura now then does not improve, and Ocon just about to start a lap in a little bit, along with Rosenquist as well. Here's Kimi Räikkönen on a lap as he's just about to approach the end of the middle sector. Räikkönen's middle sector, 5 tenths off. Räikkönen not on for an improvement, but we'll see what his lap time is anyway. Coming out of Angel Nieto and then into the bus stop chicane he will now go. We're 16 minutes away from the 4 o'clock mark for anybody wondering, as we have just over 21 minutes to go here for day 2 here at RF. As Räikkönen makes his way out of the penultimate turn, up towards the final corner, and let's see what Kimi can do. Through the left-hander, heading out of the turn, heading down the pit straight, and Räikkönen is going to come across the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains where he is at this stage. So Vettel goes into the pits, and looking for Hiroki Ashura, who's on lap 19th down in the middle sector. Ashura probably not on for an improvement. Let's see what the Japanese driver does anyway on this lap as he comes out of Angel Nieto and then up towards the bus stop chicane. And then the brand new livery of the Mars Grand Prix car, which is apparently, according to them, based on a Force India, but a lot of people say it looks more like an Arrows if you ask me. But if you ask them, sorry, not ask me, but it's got a little bit of green stripes just to represent the fact that it does look a little bit like a Force India, but apart from that, that's pretty much it really. Ashura across the line remains where he is at the moment in 19th. As now we look at Ocon. Ocon currently, what is it? Currently in 6th. Is Ocon on an improvement? Let's see what the Frenchman can do as he heads out of Lorenzo, heading down the pit straight, and Ocon will cross the line. Can he improve? And he can, but remains in 6th place, only taking a few chunks between himself and Lando Norris at the minute. As here is Patrick Ajala about to start that. Felix Rosenquist heading out of Lorenzo, heading down the pit straight. Let's see what Rosenquist can do. And the Swede will cross the line now then, and he remains where he is at this stage. So Rosenquist remaining in 8th place. Sainz about to start a lap, as will Grosjean and Barrichello. As we look back at Ocon, let's see his first sector, 2 tenths down. Probably not on a fast lap anyway, but we'll look at him either way. As he makes his way into the right-hander of turn 6. Using the curb on the outside through the flat-out left-hander, he will go. As the Frenchman now then makes his way around turn 8. Up towards the end of sector 2. 4 tenths down, probably not on for an improvement. Definitely not on for an improvement now, because he's passed his overall gap between himself and Charles Leclerc at the minute. Just over 19 minutes to go in this session. As he just comes out of the bus stop now, then through the second to last turn, then up towards the final corner. Let's see what Esteban Ocon can do. As Ocon now then heading down the pit straight and across the line will go the Frenchman. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains in 6th for the moment. Charles Leclerc about to start a lap in a bit. Here comes Patrick Kajala heading out of Lorenzo. Makes his way down the pit straight. And Kajala will cross the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains where he is at this stage. As George Russell's preparing himself for starting another lap. Carlos Sainz Jr. up towards the bus stop he goes, as he's currently down in 18th. So he's desperate to improve at the moment. Heading out of that bus stop now then through the right-hander, and then up towards the hairpin of Lorenzo will go Carlos. Through the left-hander, heading his way down the pit straight. And Sainz across the line he will go. And he goes up to 14th, so a big improvement there then from Sainz up into 14th place. He goes. Lando Norris just starting a lap. As we now look at Romain Grosjean. Out of Lorenzo he goes. Down the pit straight, can Grosjean find some time to improve? And across the line he goes. No, he can't. Remains down in 16th, still being outpaced by Perez at the moment. Barrichello improves, but remains in last, still not able to overall the 2 AMPs. As now here is Sergio Perez heading out of Lorenzo. And Perez will come across the line in a bit. And he remains where he is at the moment in 13th position. Nico Hülkenberg about to start a lap in a bit. Here is Pierre Gastly now then, out of Lorenzo corner he goes. And Gastly heading down the pit straight. And let's see what he can do. He does not improve. Charles Leclerc remains where he is at the moment at the top of the time sheets. Kajala remains, what is he at the moment? Still remains in 9th for the moment. Here comes George Russell heading out of the bus stop. He really attacked that curb, it must be said. As now Russell up towards the final corner at Lorenzo. And let's see what Russell can do as he heads down the pit straight and across the line comes the young Brit. And he remains where he is at the moment in 11th. So that's that for him. Nick Cassidy goes up to 15th, so an improvement for him there then. So a bit of an improvement for him. Sainz remains 14th for the moment. No improvement. Here comes Lando Norris. Across the line, remains in 5th place for the moment. Here comes Romain Grosjean into Lorenzo as he makes his way out of that final turn and heading down the pit straight. And Grosjean will come across the line. Can he improve at the moment? And no, he can't. Grosjean remains in 17th place. Barrichello remains last, way off the pace at the moment, it must be said. And here is Sergio Perez heading out of the final turn. And Perez, can he find some time to improve? And he can't. Remains 13th. Nico Hülkenberg, and he remains 4th, still being outpaced by Vettel at the minute. Here comes Pierre Gastly out of the final turn. And Gastly will come across the line in a bit. The Frenchman remains in 10th position. Charles Leclerc remains on a 1 minute 18.786. Verline just starting a lap. Lewis Hamilton just about to start one. His fellow compatriot George Russell heads out of the bus stop chicane. As now he'll make his way up towards the hairpin in a little bit. Through the left-hander he goes. And now heading down the pit straight. Russell will come across the line. Let's see what he can do. No improvement. Russell remains in 11th place. Nick Cassidy remains 15th. As we now look at Lando Norris. Norris will come across the line. Can he improve? No, remains 5th at this stage. Vettel about to come out on the track in a bit. As now we look at Hülkenberg heading out of the double right-hander. Still 3 tenths down in the second sector. Into the bus stop chicane. Through the right. Then the left, and then into the right-hander he goes. Using the curb on the outside through the second to last turn. Up towards the final corner. Let's see what Nico Hulkenberg can do. As now out of Lorenzo he goes, heading down the pit straight. Can Hulkenberg improve on his lap? And let's see now then, across the line he goes. And no, he can't. Remains where he is at this stage. As now we look at Wehrlein into the final corner. And Wehrlein down the pit straight and across the line he will now go, as Wehrlein remains in 21st position. As now Hamilton crosses the line to remain in second, no improvement for him. As now, let's try and find who's next to the lap. Mick Schumacher through the double right-hander. And Schumacher now then makes his way down towards the bus stop chicane. To the right, then the left, and then to the right-hander he goes again. That's now Schumacher through the right-hander, and then up towards the hairpin he will now go. Mick Schumacher through Lorenzo, down the pit straight he goes, and Schumacher will cross the line in a bit. And can he improve on his 20th position? Well, only on lap time, but not on position. Remains in 20th at this stage. As now we look at his teammate Pascal Wehrlein, 1 second off in the middle sector, so Wehrlein definitely not on an improvement at the minute, and AMP probably getting a bit frustrated with this pace at the moment. That they're clearly lacking at the moment, even with them switched to Mercedes engines. It's currently not working out for him at the moment. Seems that nothing seems to work at the moment for the Essex-based team, as Wehrlein now then makes his way up towards Lorenzo corner. And the German makes his way down the pit straight and across the line he will go. 8 minutes away from the 4 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. Wehrlein does not improve and remains where he is. As here is Sebastian Vettel about to start a lap in a bit. Mick Schumacher, his fellow compatriot, rounds turn 8. And his middle sector 7 tenths off. Through the double right-hander we go. Schumacher heads out of this turn now then, out of Angel Nieto. Through towards the bus stop chicane. Through the right, then the left, then into the right-hander we go, as he makes his way into the second to last corner. And then up towards the final corner then goes Mick Schumacher. Let's see what he's able to do as he makes his way down the pit straight. And Schumacher now then will come across the line. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Remains in 20th for the moment. Dixon and Power and Ricciardo and Raikkonen and Kajala about to start a lap in a bit. As let's try and find somebody who is on a lap. That'll be Sebastian Vettel, so quite a while to look for someone. Vettel through turn 6 he goes. He's flicking the car in. Luckily not getting held up by the Bud Light lime, I don't think, in front. Vettel through turn 7. Then into turn 8. Just a tap on the brakes through there. Let's see what his second split is like. And he's 2 tenths down in the second sector. Vettel out of Angel Nieto he will go. As now Vettel approaches the bus stop chicane. Through the right, then the left, and then into the right-hander he goes. And Vettel now then up towards the hairpin he goes, as the Bud Light lime in front of him is about to start a lap. Vettel through Lorenzo now then, making his way down the pit straight, and Vettel will come across the line. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Vettel remains in third for the present moment. As now we look at Dixon. I don't know if he just got a little bit of understeer there going into that bus stop chicane. As Dixon now then makes his way up towards Lorenzo, the final corner. And into the hairpin he goes, making his way down the pit straight, and Dixon is going to cross the line. Can he improve on his lap? And yes, he can. He goes up to 15th. So Dixon improves on his lap for the moment to get himself up to P15. Will Power remains in 18th. So still not doing a particularly good job, is he? Daniel Ricciardo, can he improve on his lap? Yes, he can. He goes up to 6th. So up to P6 goes Ricciardo, finally setting a better lap time than what he has done already. So up to 6th place goes the Australian. As now we look at Kimi Raikkonen, the Suomi now then. Across the line comes the Iceman. This looks to be a good lap, but not really in terms of position. He improves, but remains in 8th place at this stage. Here comes Patrick Ajala, and across the line he goes, and he remains 10th at this stage. George Russell just about to come out. Here comes Hiroki Ashura now then in the Mars Grand Prix car. Up towards the final turn he goes. And the Japanese driver now, they're making his way down the pit straight. And Ashura now then will come across the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains where he is at the moment. Ocon remaining in 7th. And Grosjean crosses the line, gets a check flag to his name. So Grosjean will be finished in a minute. Vettel doesn't improve. Remains in 3rd. Here comes Carlos Sainz Jr. Into the hairpin he goes. And let's see what Sainz can do. As the Spaniard now then will cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Sainz remains 14th at the moment. Here comes Felix Rosenquist across the line, and Rosenquist remains 9th. Here comes Scott Dixon making his way down the pit straight to remain in 15th place. Will Power makes his way down the pit straight. Power across the line he will go, and he remains where he is at this stage. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo making his way down the pit straight, and he remains 6th for the moment. Rubens Barrichello making his way out of the hairpin as he's about to start his lap in a bit. Kimi Raikkonen down the pit straight he goes, and let's see what Kimi can do. Across the line, and he remains in 8th position. Sergio Perez just starting a lap now then as we look at Patrick Kajala. Kajala now then making his way down pit straight, and Kajala remains where he is at the moment in 10th, and he gets a check flag next to his name. So Kajala just finished his final lap, so he's done for the day. Russell about to start a lap. Here's Esteban Ocon just making his way into the final turn. Just over 9 minutes left now then here for day 2 of the ref, as now Ocon down the pit straight and across the line he goes. He remains in 7th place as Grosjean on his final lap remains 17th. So again, another disappointing day for the Frenchman. As here is Carlos Sainz Jr. Up towards Lorenzo he goes. Sainz currently in 14th. Can he find a little bit more time to improve? Across the line he goes, and no, he can't. Remains in 14th place. Here is Felix Rosenquist, currently 9th, and he remains in 9th with that lap. So Power just makes his way into the pits, as will fellow compatriot Daniel Ricciardo. Here is Rubens Barrichello. Out of the bus stop he goes, through the right-hander, and then up towards the hairpin of Lorenzo he will go. Let's see what Rubino can do. Making his way out of the hairpin as he makes his way down the pit straight. Barrichello across the line. He will now go, and Barrichello goes up to 19th. So up to P19 goes Barrichello. He does improve with that lap as Sergio Perez remains 13th for the moment. As here is George Russell in the Martini. And so now heading out of the final turn. Perez gets the checkered flag next to his name, so he's done for the day. Here comes George Russell across the line. Can he improve? And yes, he can, but remains in 12th. He gets the checkered flag next to his name, so one more lap to go for George. As now we try and find the next person. Will have to be Barrichello on his probably his final flying lap, but we'll wait and see anyway once he crosses the line. Probably won't tell us anyway, but you never know, of course, as the Brazilian veteran makes his way out of turn 6, then into turn 7, and then into turn 8 will soon go. Barrichello makes his way out of these turns now, then through the medium speed turn 8 on the track, up towards the double right-hander of Angel Nieto, 8 tenths down in the second sector, so the Brazilian probably not on for an improvement, but we'll wait and see anyway. As Barrichello up towards the bus stop chicane, through the right, then the left, and then into the right-hander he goes. Using the curb on the outside through the right-hander. And then up towards the final corner then goes Rubens Barrichello. Let's see what he can do on his lap as the V12 roars out the back of the British Airways racing car. And Barrichello across the line he goes. And he does not improve, remains in 19th position. As Gastly about to start a lap in a bit. Here is George Russell through the second to last turn. Let's see what Russell can do on his final flying lap. Into the hairpin he goes, heading down the pit straight, and Russell comes across the line. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Remains in 12th position. As we now look at Norris, who just is about to start his lap in a bit, along with Hulkenberg, Hamilton and Leclerc. Barrichello coming back into the pits. We look at Pierre Gastly now, then, who's on a lap. Gastly currently 11th. Can he try and get himself back in the top 10 if he can? Through the medium speed turn 5 he goes, and let's see what his first split is like. 2 tenths down in the first sector, and we'll see what his second split is like in a bit. And he heads down towards turn number 6, flicking the car in. And Gastly now then through into the left hander he'll go. Just under 6 minutes now to go in this session. We're now at the 4 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. Gastly out of turn 8, second sector. 4 attempts down. He's probably not on for an improvement, but we'll wait and see if he pulls a miracle off in the last sector. Out of Angel Nieto goes the Frenchman as he now makes his way into the bus stop chicane. Through the right, down the left, and then into the right-hander he goes. Flicking the car in, using the curb on the outside. Through the second to last corner. Up towards the final corner now then goes Pierre Gastly. Let's see what the Frenchman can do. Out of that final turn, heading down the pit straight, and Gastly is going to cross the line. Can he improve? And yes, he can. No, he can't. Sorry, what am I doing? I'm losing it today. Gastly does not improve, remains 11th, gets a checker flag to his name, so he's got one more lap to complete. Dixon about to start a lap, as does Power and Schumacher. As now we look at Lando Norris in the Martini. Norris now then heads out of Lorenzo, making his way down the pit straight. As we've got a yellow flag, and that is down at turn 5, so Norris this time will have to wait. We've got a culprit down at turn 5. Who is that? And let's see if we can find him. And it is Pascal Wehrlein as he understeers off at turn 5. So he's another casualty of that corner. Wehrlein spins off at turn 5, trying too hard possibly to do that. So Wehrlein, a culprit of that corner. Norris does not improve, remains in 5th. One more lap to do for him. As now Vettel's about to start a lap in a bit. His teammate's currently on one at the moment as he now makes his way up towards the final turn. As Wehrlein able to rejoin as the yellow flags are now cleared from turn 5. Nico Hulkenberg across the line, and he improves but remains in 4th. Gets a check value in his name, so he's got one more lap to do, which has now been held up by Kimi Räikkönen. So that was probably his last best lap he got out of him. Hamilton now then, let's see what he can do. Across the line, can he improve? No, remains 2nd, gets a check value in his name, and again, looks like Leclerc might be heading it for the 2nd day in a row. Speaking of which, he crosses the line and he improves a little bit more by 0.04 of a second. Breaks free of Hamilton. He's now on a 1 minute 18.742. So Leclerc improves there on that lap. So good time there then from Charles Leclerc. Nick Cassidy does not improve, remains where he is at this stage. Here is Pierre Gastly heading out of the final turn on his final flying lap. Let's see what Gastly can do as the Frenchman now then crosses the line, and he does not improve, remains 11th. With that lap. Here comes Scott Dixon, really holding up a train of cars, it must be said. This Wehrlein's about to finish a lap after his mistake. Dixon crosses the line, remains where he is. Wehrlein, of course, remains where he is because of his mistake. Power doesn't improve, Schumacher doesn't either. Here comes Lando Norris heading out of the final corner, and let's see what Lando can do. Across the line goes the young Brit, and he remains in 5th, and he's finished for the day as he gets the checkered flag next to his name. Sebastian Vettel, let's see what he can do now then. Can he improve on his lap? Vettel heads down the pit straight, and the EMR will cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains 3rd, gets a check for his name. He's got one more lap to do. Hulkenberg on his final lap, getting held up by Räikkönen, and as a result remains in 4th position. Hamilton on his final flying lap. Let's see if he can try and pull something out of this final lap if he can. Hamilton, as his teammate's about to finish a lap, I think. Hamilton crosses the line, does not improve. Ricardo's about to start one, actually. I do apologise. Here comes Charles Leclerc, possibly on his final flying lap. Let's see. Crosses the line, doesn't improve, and remains at the top on his final flying lap. Nick Cassidy now then heads down the pit straight. Just under 3 minutes to go now then in this session. Cassidy across the line, and Cassidy remains where he is at this stage. Scott Dixon heading out of that bus stop chicane as he's on a lap, making his way into the hairpin now. Then we will go. Let's see what Scott Dixon could do as he now makes his way down the pit straight, and Dixon now then will come across the line. Let's see if he can improve, and he doesn't, as now Will Power doesn't improve either. Mick Schumacher remains where he is. Checkered flag next to his name. He's done for the day, along with Pascal Wehrlein. A very disappointing day for AMP. They're down at the back of the field. Vettel now then up towards the final corner he will go. Let's see what Sebastian can do as the EMR makes his way out of Lorenzo, heading down the pit straight and across the line now then goes Sebastian. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains in 3rd place on his final flying lap there. Then Kimi Räikkönen on a lap. Can he improve? Across the line comes the Iceman. No, he can't. Remains in 8th. Got one more lap to do. He's just got the checkered flag popped up next to his name. Here's Daniel Ricciardo on a lap. Can he improve on his 6th place? Across the line goes the Australian. Can he find some time to improve? And no, he can't. Remains 6th. Gets checked by his name. Got one more lap to do as another car comes out right behind him. Esteban Ocon for what will be his final flying lap, of course. Here comes Hiroki Ashura making his way down the pit straight, and Ashura crosses the line to remain in 20th at the moment. Got one more lap to do because of the amount of time he's got left in the session. So now we look at Kimi Räikkönen making his way out of turn 6 on his final flying lap. Through the flat out turn 7 he goes, and then up towards the medium speed turn 8, flicking the car in, and let's see what his middle sector is like. And he is 4 tenths down in the middle sector that time by Räikkönen. Out of Angel Nieto he goes. Just over a minute to go now then in this session. Räikkönen into the bus stop chicane, through the right, then the left, and then into the right hand he'll go. Using the curb on the outside through the second to last turn, and then up towards the final corner comes Kimi Räikkönen. Let's see what he can do as he heads out of that hairpin, heading down the pit straight, and Räikkönen across the line he will go, and on his final lap does not improve and remains in 8th place there. Then here's Daniel Ricciardo on his final flying lap. Let's see what Danny Rick can do now then. Ricciardo across the line, can he find some time to improve on his 6th place? No, he can't. Remains P6 with that lap. Ocon starting the lap. Here's Hiroki Ashura. Into Lorenzo corner he goes, making his way down the pit straight, and across the line goes the young Japanese driver, and he remains where he is at this stage. Barrichello about to start a lap in a bit because X-Patch will allow him. Same with Rosenquist and Sainz. Ocon on a lap, 6 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Checkered flag is out, and that is the end of the session. 2 tenths down in the first sector there went Esteban Ocon as he now makes his way into turn 6. So it looks like it's just going to be 4 drivers, I think, or 3 that are just doing flying laps. 2 flying laps, I would presume, because of how Hex Patch works. As now Ocon now then through the left hander he goes. So now Ocon now they 6 tenths down in the middle sector through the double right hander he will go. As Ocon now then makes his way out of that turn up towards the bus stop chicane he goes, for the right, then the left, and then into the right hander he will go. So now he makes his way out of that bus stop chicane through the last 2 turns. Let's see what Esteban Ocon can do. Into the final corner and onto the pit straight goes Esteban. Let's see if he can improve on his lap. Across the line he goes, and he doesn't. One more lap to do. He remains in 7th place. Ashura going back in. Barrichello on a lap. I didn't quite see what that was like in the first sector, but it appears to be 400s off his personal best in the first sector there, according to his steering wheel. Barrichello now then through the left hander he goes. Everybody now getting checkered flags, as now Barrichello through the left hander, and then up towards the double right hander he goes. 7 tenths down in the second sector. Barrichello probably not on for an improvement, but we'll see anyway. Up towards the bus stop chicane then goes Lubino, and let's see what he can do then. Probably 2 more laps for him, just like Ocon, but we'll see. Barrichello through the second to last corner, as my mic decided to nearly drop out there. I do apologise for that if you heard that. As Barrichello now then into the final corner, and onto the pit straight we go, and Barrichello is going to cross the line and does not improve. 1 more lap to do, remains in 19th position. Felix Rosenquist on a lap, into the hairpin he will go, and Rosenquist makes his way down the pit straight, and the Swede will cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains in 9th place. Carlos Sainz Jr., and he remains in 14th position. Here comes Esteban Ocon on his final flying lap. See what he can do, and he remains in 7th place. For him, Barrichello on his final one, 4 tenths down in the first sector. He's probably just getting a little bit of mileage for British Airways Racing, as the Mercedes-powered BAR makes his way out of turn 6. And Barrichello having a smooth lap now then, just seeing, just gathering some data for the team, and just getting out of that left-hander, and then up towards the double right-hander we go of Angel Nieto. Through out of the curb now, then we go out of that right-hander, and then heading down towards the bus stop chicane. So through that bus stop he goes now then, out of the corner now then, through the right-hander, as Barrichello now then approaches Lorenzo, which is the final corner on the racetrack. Let's see what he can do. Into the hairpin, heading down the pit straight, and Barrichello is going to cross the line. Let's see what Rubino can do, and he does not improve, remains in 19th position. Felix Rosenquist now then up towards the hairpin he goes. Can he improve on his final lap? And then we'll just wait for Sainz to finish off. I think it's Sainz, well, it's one of the shadows. As Rosenquist crosses the line, no improvement, and it is Sainz. Across the line he goes, and no improvement, remains in 14th position. And that is going to do it. That is it for day 2 here at the RAF. So as a result of that, here was the results of day 2 here at the Circuito de Jerez-Angel Nieto circuit. Leclerc was fastest, Hamilton 2nd, Vettel 3rd, Hulkenberg in 4th, followed by Norris in 5th, Ricciardo 6th, Ocon 7th, Raikkonen 8th, Rosenquist 9th, Kajala in 10th, followed by Gastly 11th, Russell in 12th, with Perez 13th, Sainz 14th, Dixon 15th, Cassidy 16th, Grosjean 17th, Power 18th, Barrichello 19th, Ashura 20th, followed by Schumacher 21st, and Verline in 22nd position. So we will wait for Sainz to go back in the pits. We'll then remind you of what the leaderboard looked like, and then we will finish off this live stream there. Let me just click on the results. You might see it briefly. If that's the case, I do apologise. And when it does load up, and there it goes. Took a bit of a while, so if you did see that, but just putting it there. And then Sainz just coming back in this lap, making his way out of the turn, and now heading into the pits. It just said free practice over, which means it should go back to the main menu in a little bit, which it does. So there you go then. That is the end of day 2 here at the RAF. And a reminder then of what the leaderboard looked like. It was Charles Leclerc fastest, Lewis Hamilton 2nd, Sebastian Vettel 3rd, Nico Hulkenberg 4th, Lando Norris 5th, Daniel Ricciardo 6th, Esteban Ocon 7th, Kimi Raikkonen 8th, Felix Rosenquist 9th, Patrick Kajala 10th, Pierre Gastly 11th, George Russell 12th, Sergio Perez 13th, Carlos Sainz Jr. 14th, Scott Dixon 15th, Nick Cassidy 16th, Romain Grosjean 17th, Will Power 18th, Rubens Barrichello 19th, Hiroki Ashura 20th, Mick Schumacher 21st, and Pascal Wehrlein in 22nd and last. So there you have it then, guys. That is day 2 of RF completed. I hope you've enjoyed it. It has been quite an interesting day. Leclerc again looking very strong in the Eldorado, but Etihad and EMR still looking to look like they are still right in the hunt for challenging for possibly the title this season, along with Eldorado. So 3 teams looking very strong out of these tests at this stage. But there you have it then, guys. That has been it for day 2. I hope you've enjoyed it. We will see you then, guys, tomorrow at a slightly later time of 3:30 due to the Formula 1 race at Abu Dhabi, their last one of the season. But until then, guys, that has been it. I hope you've enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 3:30 PM GMT for day 3 here at RF. Until then, take care.